Yo, what's good? Big Z here, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make this. So this track is really blown up. It has like 250 million plays on Spotify, and the vocals are super catchy, but I thought, why not try and remake the instrumental? So this is the finished result of that. If you want the drum samples from this remake, you can go ahead and download those for free below. Let's get into the bass first. So I made the bass with 4 different layers. I have no idea how many layers they used in the track, but there are definitely a few layers in there to make it sound nice and full. So one of the sounds is that classic M1 organ bass sound. Then underneath that, I have this punchy sub bass. And that sub bass sound is really easy to make. It's just a saw wave in Serum. Here's the envelope right here that's controlling the filter in the effects section. And then I have a multiband compressor before the filter. I also have mono check down here so the notes don't run into each other. And I've added a little bit of release. Then I have these 2 top layers adding more harmonics to the bass. I'll start with this one first. So with this sound, the important thing is oscillator B is up 7 semitones over here, so it's a different pitch. That's why it sounds pretty cool. So I use these 2 wavetables here, and they both have 7 voices of unison with some detune on them. Here's the envelope I'm using to modulate the cutoff of the filter in the effects section. I also have some distortion and multiband compression before the filter. Also, I'm modulating the pitch of the oscillators with envelope 3 here. To make the bass sound nice and bouncy, there's some delay on here in the send right here. So it's a 16th note delay, and it's ping pong, so it's going back and forth from the left ear to the right ear. And external processing for this one, I have some compression, some very light compression. Then I have some saturation right here, which really helps. I'm bringing this drive up. Makes it sound a lot cooler, but does it in a really subtle way. And then I just have these 2 EQs on here, helping it fit in the mix and not clash with the other basses. Then the last layer, not totally necessary, is a Nexus layer. It's the Deep Digital preset in the Deep House 2 expansion pack. And I'm of course taking out the low end of this sound to make room for the sub bass. I'm doing that in all the basses obviously except the sub bass. Like the organ bass down here, I'm cutting out everything below like 130 Hertz. So I'm taking these 4 basses and I'm sending them all to this bass bus right here where I'm compressing them together. I'm doing a little bit of EQing after that, and then I'm adding a little bit of saturation to brighten up the top end. So without those bus effects, then with them. You might not even really notice a difference, it just helps glue them together a little bit better. So in the second half of the drop, the piano chords come in. So this is the classic M1 piano that I actually talked about in my last video. Then I added a couple plugins for external processing, but I didn't really do much to it. So I added some stereo imaging to widen it up a little bit. Here's an EQ I'm adding, just to clean up the low end a little bit. I'm adding some saturation to the high end up here. And then I'm just adding a room reverb, really short room reverb. Then I have this other reverb that's longer. And those chords go along really well with the bass line. Then to add some atmosphere on top of all that, I have this arpeggio and this high string sound. The filter of that ARP sound is just opening up throughout the drop, as you can see there. And that's just a really simple serum sound. It's just a sol wave, 7 voices of unison, some detune on there. I'm using LFO1 to move the pan back and forth of the sound. And then in the effects section, I just have envelope 1 controlling the cutoff of the filter and some multi-band compression before that. For drums, it's a pretty standard house beat. Like I said, you can download these samples if you want below. Anyway, I'll make sure to play the full remake again at the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching, and other than that, I'll catch you next time. Peace.